Hello, this is Darren DePaul, the voice of Emperor Valkorion, and you're watching another video by Vulkk.
Hi, have you guys heard about the new changes BioWare is implementing with Star Wars The Old Republic's patch 5.1 on 24th of January? I'm recording this video, as you can see from the upload date, 3 days earlier, so I can't really show you in-game footage of all of these new changes. However, if need be, I will make a new video and forward you to it later on, or just explain things and show things during one of my live streams after the patch goes live. So, BioWare has made a significant number of changes to lessen the RNG grind coming with the Galactic Command from patch 5.0 released a couple months ago. Some of these changes actually make things a little bit more complicated, but in the whole mess that has been the yellow text or yellow forum posts from BioWare representatives and Eric Musco, the community manager, I've managed to extract all of the important information, and I think I've managed to order it for myself and for all of you into a nicely, neatly structured guide. It contains 4 pages, general changes, gearing in PvE, gearing in PvP, and on the last page you will find a mini blog post with my personal opinion, because I do have a few things to say. I will say them in the end of this video as well, if you prefer to listen instead of read. However, I will have the guide here in front of me and behind me for you on the screen to help, because the changes are really a lot and I will be carefully going through some of them, not all of them. All of the things you see here are set in stone for the release of 5.1. If there will be changes specifically to costs at some of the specific new currencies, that will be after 5.1, and I will be updating and adjusting this guide accordingly. If you remember, I had something similar for patch 4.0, but obviously that guy has been long obsolete now for about 2.5 months. So I'm making this new one. It's structured in 4 pages because I think it's easier instead of scrolling down like mad. And it's structured logically. So the general changes. BioWare is introducing 3 new currencies. They are called command tokens, unassembled components, and gear pieces. Scrolling down below to check what they do. The command tokens come from command crates. Each crate will drop command tokens based on the tier of the crate. Tier 1 will drop 5 tokens, Tier 2 is going to drop 8 tokens, and Tier 3 is going to drop 12 tokens. These tokens, the good part, are legacy bound, so you will be able to combine them from all of your alts that you are playing. And the even better news is that they are retroactively granted for those of you who have been grinding Galactic Command experience and your ranks prior to the release of patch 5.1. The next is unassembled components. This currency is a reward for playing war zones and Galactic Starfighter, so participating in PvP. And it can be used to purchase the unassembled gear pieces, which is the third, the last new currency introduced into the game. Unassembled gear piece is the kind of a drop from an operation boss. They are very similar items to what operations and flashpoints used to drop before 5.0. For whatever reason, BioWare decided to scrap them and introduce this new system. The last boss of each operation has a 100% drop chance for one of these gear pieces, and I will show you in a moment which boss in which operation drops what depending on the tier: story, hard, and nightmare. We will have 2 pieces from that final boss for 8 men and 4 pieces for 16 men, so that's kind of an improvement or an upgrade compared to the old system in 4.0. Each other boss, the previous bosses in the operation, will have a scaling up or increasing chance to drop item, which means the first boss will have a small chance to drop a gear piece, the second boss will have a better chance, the third boss will have an even better chance, and the final boss will always drop the same 2 pieces for 8 men and 4 pieces for 16 men, depending on the tier. Because of these new currencies, BioWare is introducing two new vendors. Unassembled component vendor, they are obviously located on the fleets, and I will show you where exactly they are as soon as the game goes live. The unassembled component vendor, on that vendor you can turn in the unassembled components to purchase a specific unassembled gear piece. You can only purchase tier 1. Remember, that's important. Tier 1 unassembled pieces in this way. However, you can turn in the tier 1 pieces along with the unassembled components to upgrade them to tier 2 and then later on to tier 3 respectively. This method is very similar to what PvP players remember from before 5.0. Back then you were able to purchase the basic PvP set with commendations, and after you're finished with it and you have more than enough resources, you can purchase the upgrade to the PvP or tier 2 PvP set by handing in the empty shell. Take out the mods. You don't want to give the mods away. Empty the shell and then provide that shell to the vendor with some extra number of unassembled tokens. And then we have the unassembled gear piece vendor. With this vendor, you can turn in one unassembled gear piece for a specific slot. Example given here is if you want unassembled helmet tier 1 along with the tokens for that respective piece of gear. On the second page of the guide, we jump here to learn more about what drops where. So we have 3 lists here for gear drops from operations. Tier 1 and tier 2 are exactly the same. But I've structured them in a more easier way. So again, if you don't know, tier 1 is story mode operations. They haven't changed. They're still silly and ridiculously easy. Tier 2 is now called veteran mode. It used to be known as hard mode. The challenge inside the operations is pretty much the same, although scaled though for level 70 in hard mode and veteran mode. Tier 3 used to be known as nightmare, and it is now called master mode. And the drop rate here is kind of different. Familiarize yourself with these lists. I can't really obviously read all of them in front of you, but pause the video or visit the guide. The link is down below in the description, and copy those things for yourself, or just keep visiting the guide whenever you need to plan the guild activities for your friends. And down below we have a list of how many specific costs we'll have for each one of these things. Each unassembled piece also has a command token cost to purchase them. And down below is the list breaking those costs per tier, 1, 2, and 3. So you would need, for example, 10 for chest piece in tier 1, 15 for tier 2, and 24 for tier 3. In case you don't know, tier 1 gear is 230, tier 2 gear is 236, and tier 3 gear is 242. Those are the tier gears which come with set bonuses. There is craftable gear with 2 points below each one. So we have 228, 234, and 240. These are in between tiers. But I have a separate guide, which I hope I will remember to link below in the description in case you're not familiar with that as well. And to make things even more simple, just keep visiting this collective mega thread I have right here. It's listed on the top, and you will be able to familiarize with yourself with absolutely all the changes that BioWare is doing since 5.0. Each command crate you open as you level up in Galactic Command is going to grant you the command tokens, and I've already told you these tier 1 5 tokens, tier 2 8 tokens, tier 3 12 tokens. There are also the command XP boosts available from in-game now, and you'll be able to purchase them as well from the new vendors. These are the costs for each one of them. It is important to note that they provide 15% boost, but only while you're in this specific tier. As soon as you jump into the new tier, you will have to buy a new Steam. Jumping on to the PvP specific changes and gearing up requirements. One of the new currencies, the unassembled components mentioned on the page 1 of the guide, is a new way for PvP players to work towards a specific piece of gear. First, let's talk about how many components you're getting from playing PvP. And there is the list below. Participating in a war zone, whether you win or lose, arena participation, solo ranked PvP, group ranked PvP, and Galactic Starfighter for those few of you folks who still enjoy that part of the game. Down below, we have another list with the costs, how much these things cost to purchase from one of the new vendors. So this is the tier 1 unassembled gear pieces, obviously. As mentioned a moment ago, you can only purchase direct gear for tier 1. After that, it will be an upgrade. And right here, we have yet another list for purchases for the specific armor pieces for tier 2 and for tier 3. I don't know if that's good and detailed enough. You let me know if you have some questions. I would like to forward you last to the personal opinion page of the guide, and I will tell you what it says in that guide if you prefer not to read. My personal opinion is that these new changes are good for lessening the amount of RNG and crazy random grind that has been introduced with patch 5.0 into the game. However, this makes things a lot more complicated than what BioWare initially intended with the new Galactic Command system, or at least I think so. The working gearing up system for 4.5 years was more than fine in the game, and we've had that very well set in stone. It was tested, it was proven, it was working. Who and why decided to bring RNG? We don't exactly know. We can speculate. I have actually speculated in a SWTOR opinion video from those opinion series that I've been doing for quite some time now on my channel. But that's a different topic. The RNG was bad, and thanks to the insane uproar and constant raging all over the internet from absolutely all of the players, combined with the huge amount of players unsubscribing and leaving the game due to the command system, the Galactic Command RNG system, BioWare saw themselves forced to do some changes. These changes are way too complicated to be combined with the simple model that Galactic Command was supposed to be. I don't know why they are doing this. I personally would prefer to see a return back to the old system. Yes, with this RNG, sooner or later, depending on your luck and free time, you can reach the end game gear, the best tier of end game gear, even if you're a casual player and do solo stuff or heroics or story mode flashpoints, for example, and these sort of things that are typical for a more casual player or player who doesn't have the time, who cannot afford to spend huge amounts of time every day, every week into farming and learning operations before farming. On the other side, if you're a casual player, why would you care about the endgame gear? You don't really participate in that kind of endgame content. You're just grinding the easier part of the game. These changes are primarily aimed, I believe, to the not new players or so-called experienced ones and the veterans. They can more easily understand the changes because some of these changes are actually going back, reverting those implementations with 5.0 and going back, bringing back pieces, bits and pieces from the old gearing up system. It's not good. I don't like it, but I like it way better than what we received with 5.0. When we were told that the system will be simplified, we didn't expect RNG crap. When we received the RNG crap, we're now welcoming these 5.1 changes with open hands. I'm looking forward to the further changes BioWare is promising us with the next major update, probably 5.2 in a month or two. We don't know yet. We don't have a date. But BioWare is promising us or is telling us to expect changes in terms of more friendly alt playing, because this game is designed to be played with multiple characters, not focusing on one main character. And that's the biggest issue that RNG gearing brought to the table. With future updates, BioWare is going to lessen the grind for next character and the next character and playing more alts. One small step was making the Galactic Command tokens legacy bound, which I've talked about in the beginning of the video. So, with so many things mentioned, I don't aim this video to be a guide because it's been recorded 3 days before we actually get our hands onto the content and experience how much of a change this is. It is a lot of grind based on some of my calculations. Specifically for PvP, you have to grind like mad to reach the tier 3. But then again, It was a grind at 5.0, and it was actually grind combined with RNG. At least the new model allows us to scratch the RNG. And I should probably have led with that. All of these changes are additions to what is currently existing in 5.0. So nothing changes with the galactic command. All of the crop items, all of the RNG still remains part of the crates. You can still level up your galactic command and the rank, and you can still earn random drops of gear pieces depending on your rank tier. That's not changing. All of the other things related to PvP and PvE changes, the new vendors, the new currencies, they are being added as an extra content. That makes sense? I hope it does. Let me know, what do you guys think? Do you like these changes? Do you think they could have been better, more complicated, more simpler? Are you looking forward to more changes in terms of more friendly alt playing environment? Wrapping up this video, see you next time. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Click the like button and help me out. Visit my website vulkk.com for daily videos and news. To help me improve and expand, consider becoming my patron with a small monthly pledge. And stay in touch by following me on Facebook and Twitter.